My childhood memories contain nothing but snippets of my favorite pieces of art. And Super Mario 64? It's a game that means a lot to me. It is without a doubt my favorite game of all time. You might imagine me as a 40-year-old that played this during the 90s, but the first time I even heard of this game was in 2017. Let's take the time to go back. Imagine the first time you get into games was at a time where everyone's attention was on how realistic the game looked, which definitely had an impression on a little one's brain. You start to think that any game's quality is determined by its rendering abilities. The first console little Ari owned was the Xbox 360, and since he wasn't the only one who got to play on it, you have siblings after all, you got games that the three of you think you liked, which you only picked based on the number of triangles in it. Not that you knew what triangles even were at the time. Years later, you got yourself a cheap laptop. By that I mean your parents got it for you. It was weak. It could barely even play Minecraft, which is what you got it for to begin with. You still had that laptop before you came here. It couldn't play the games you thought you liked, that poor thing. So you had no choice but to use it for YouTube videos and such. A blessing in disguise, I'd say it was, because after using it for 1 year, it was exactly what you needed to learn how to speak English. Now, this may sound crazy, but people love talking about childhood games on YouTube. So with no other thing to clog up your time, you decide that maybe you should give one of these games a shot, despite how many triangles may be. Crashed. Isn't it called polygons? Mario 64 is the first game you try. With an Xbox 360 controller in hand and an emulator running, you play for a bit. Then close it off immediately and continue watching more YouTube videos. See, I have this little theory, my close friend. I believe that any piece of media will always be worse if you go into it with a judgmental mindset. Mario is fun and all, but you'd really rather go back to watching more YouTube videos. That was until midterm exams started. And your parents decided to cut off the internet. And with no other activity in mind, you had no choice but to give Mario another shot and be immersed in this world. You find the game fun, like really fun, which is crazy since you haven't done anything yet. You play the game for months on end, in cold winter nights. You lived in an older home built in the 1800s, which is why the rain and dirt smell was so potent. Or maybe it was just that the balcony door was broken and couldn't be closed as cold air came in. You huddle up in your bed in a warm blanket, hearing nothing but this playing in your headphones. All you heard was the sound of joy, as Mario was going through cold mountains and fighting ancient pyramid gods or flying on carpets. You understand now that it's not Mario that's doing those things, but you are. Every cold breeze, every hot lava fall, you felt as if you were in it. And your English improved a little more as you understood what the word immersion finally meant. And this, my close friend, is the first time you felt the weight of loneliness. You didn't care though, no. You loved the feeling. This game blew your mind, made you rethink every little thing you thought you liked. It made you realize that maybe feelings and atmosphere in art are far more important than realism. I'll go into more detail about that in a bit, but funny enough, I didn't know at first there were more than 1 star per stage. So after getting 6 stars, I just ran around the castle for 4 hours trying to find what to do. And this is the type of thing that would just made me quit and find something else to occupy my time. But I had nothing else. I had no choice but to like this game. So for the first half of the game, you forgot to assign buttons for the camera, which I can't even imagine playing like that now. And don't even get me started on the A and B buttons. And you could have sworn on the upper levels there was a school-themed level or something. It looked like this, but it was probably just because your copy was personalized or something. I don't know. As you keep playing through the game, you start to realize that even with the Wi-Fi back on, you just wanted to play more of this game. Even throughout the school, you didn't hang with friends or anything. You just wanted to spend your time playing Mario 64. And you started to feel more immersed in it because just like Mario here, you felt just as lonely. This unshakable feeling of loneliness that swept over you as you were playing. You couldn't help but feel out of place, and yet, after going on and finally defeating Bowser, this loneliness still persists. Perhaps this is why you were drawn to it in the first place. Even after all these years, you would just give it all up to go back, as this was the beginning of the new course your life would take, as it became a core memory.